November 3rd, 2023. Engineers at the Panama Canal discover something that shouldn't be possible. Lake Gatun, the 425 square kilometer reservoir that powers the entire canal, has dropped to its lowest level in recorded history. They have 48 hours to make a decision that will affect $270 billion in global trade. And the crisis? It wasn't caused by an earthquake, or a structural failure, or an engineering flaw. It was caused by something they forgot to plan for. Water. Let's rewind. To understand how a $6 billion piece of infrastructure is failing, you need to understand what makes the Panama Canal impossible in the first place. Because this isn't a canal. It's a machine, and it runs on fresh water. The Panama Canal is 82 kilometers of engineering genius built in 1914. ERS, what most people do, I know. It doesn't just connect to oceans. It lifts ships 26 meters above sea level. Over the continental divide, through a series of massive locks, giant water elevators that raise ships from sea level, carry them across Panama, then lower them back down on the other side. And every single time a ship passes through, the locks consume 52 million gallons of fresh water. Where does that water come from? Lake Gatun, a man-made reservoir created by damming the Chagres River in 1913. Here's the catch. That water does unrecirculate. Every drop used to lift a ship gets flushed straight into the ocean. Gone forever. But for 110 years, this wasn't a problem. Because Panama is the 5th rainiest country on Earth. The lake refills naturally during the 8-month rainy season, until it didn't. 2023 was the 2nd driest year in Panama Canal history. Rainfall was 43% below average. October 2023 became the driest month ever recorded. By January 1st, 2024, Lake Gatun's water level had dropped to 24.3 meters above sea level. For context, normal is 26.8 meters. That's almost 6 feet lower than it should be. And here's where the catastrophic oversight reveals itself. The canal was never designed to handle drought. When it was built in 1914, climate change didn't exist. El Niño patterns weren't understood. Engineers assumed Panama would always be rainy. They assumed the lake would always refill. They were wrong. Because now, the canal uses 7 billion liters of fresh water every single day. That's 2.5 times what New York City consumes. And Lake Gatun, it also supplies drinking water to 2 million people, half of Panama's population. So when the drought hit, the Panama Canal Authority faced an impossible choice. Keep the canal running, or keep people hydrated. Here's what happened next. In August 2023, the canal restricted traffic from 38 ships per day to 32. By November, 24 ships. By December 2023, 22 ships. The lowest in modern history. Ships that would normally pass in 8 to 10 hours were waiting 2 weeks. Over 200 vessels were stuck in queue at the peak, each one burning fuel, hemorrhaging money, missing delivery windows. The financial damage, catastrophic. So what's the plan? In February 2025, Panama approved a $1.6 billion project to build the Rio Indio, dam, a massive reservoir that will flood entire villages and displace 2,500 people. Construction starts in 2027. It won't be finished until 2032. That's 7 years away. And the next major drought expected in 2027 when El Niño returns. They're also exploring cloud seeding, literally trying to make it rain by injecting chemicals into clouds, and building water recycling systems for the locks so they do UN flush 52 million gallons into the ocean every single time. But here's the reality. Even with all these measures, scientists predict that under high-emissions climate scenarios, disruptive low-water conditions will become increasingly common by the end of the century. The canal isn't just vulnerable to drought. It's becoming obsolete. But here's what keeps me up at night about all this. The Panama Canal isn't the only critical infrastructure failing because of climate change. The Mississippi River in the U.S. Drought brought shipping to a standstill in 2022. The Rhine River in Europe. Water levels dropped so low in 2023 that barges couldn't pass. The Suez Canal, geopolitical and climate chaos. Manuel, Mia, Mil Melting Arctic ices, opening brand new shipping routes through the North Pole that didn't exist 5 years ago. The entire global trade network built over centuries is being rewritten by climate change in real time. And the Panama Canal, it's just the first domino. Those tree stumps you saw at the beginning, they were submerged for 110 years. They're part of a forest that was flooded in 1913 to create Lake Gatun. Now they're exposed, standing above the waterline, a visible reminder that the lake that was supposed to last forever is disappearing. The Panama Canal cost $375 million to build in 1914. Adjusted for inflation, that's $11.2 billion today. And now it's failing. Not because of age, not because of poor construction, because nobody planned for the water to run out. If this changed how you see infrastructure, hit subscribe. Because climate change isn't coming, it's already here, and it's dismantling the world we built.